I know it can be hard to believe that a car that has a driving experience like this, having a sound this aggressive, and the looks to bring everything together, would have any sort of issues to make you believe that it is not perfect. But there is a few things with this car that I don't exactly like about it, but luckily, some of those things can be changed. So welcome to today's video, where you're gonna be covering everything that I already hate about my new, to me, M4. So the first, I'd say two things to start with, begin with this exterior. As I'm sure you guys remember, there is a crack in this carbon fiber spoiler. And while it takes up this whole portion of the car, and it's just this little crack, I feel like small things like this are what set back this car from being perfect. And for only a couple $100s to have that be perfect, I think is definitely worth the money spent. It did come like that whenever I purchased it. Luckily, it's not some big chunk taken out of the side or of the hood, because that would be a lot harder to fix. And the second thing kind of goes with that, of this front lip being just regular plastic. You know, we got these carbon fiber inserts here, carbon fiber side skirts, carbon fiber roof, spoiler, rear diffuser. But this front lip, you know, I feel like it's a little left out. Everything else is carbon. So these two pieces are actually already on the way for replacement. A new PSM style rear spoiler, because I really like the look of this one. It's like nice and aggressive. It's more than just the M Performance one. And I also have a competition style front carbon fiber lip. So like I said, some of these things are already gonna be on their way to being perfect and no longer on my list of things that I don't really like about this car. And now this next thing is also something that we can't really fix, but maybe I'll change my mind about it in the future. So if we go ahead, pop the hood quick, you can tell that a lot of what they did underneath the hood here is definitely for show, because it just looks beautiful. I mean, look at this carbon fiber brace, this plastic engine cover here. I mean, just the way everything is wrapped together under the hood, it's pretty beautiful. But as you'll kind of notice here, yeah, I mean, it is a little tight to work in. And now if we take how this looks into consideration and come pop the hood underneath the WRX, everything is just a lot more nicely laid out to be worked on, but we are talking about a really big difference here. Early 2000s car, 2016 car, Japanese car, European car. So I know this isn't exactly a fair comparison. And like I said, I haven't exactly gotten my hands dirty with this car yet. All I've done is change the oil. And the plan is to be making 600 horsepower on this thing. So we're gonna change charge pipes, downpipe, get intakes, tune it. I'm thinking MHD, I'm kind of leaning more towards MHD, but potentially BM3, boot mod 3. I don't know. Let me know down below what you guys think. Should I tune this thing with MHD or boot mod 3? Because I am currently weighing both of these options when we do decide to go big power. Like I said, I know my comparison isn't exactly fair. We're talking about two different generations of vehicle from two different locations in the world. And I really will only be able to give my full opinion of this after we do all of those mods to make this thing make 600 horsepower. So it could change, And real quick, I don't know if I ever talked about that in any of our videos previously, but yes, we are planning on making 600 horsepower with this car. The spoiler and the front lip are already on the way, so we're going to install those two things. And then I think I'm gonna sit around this horsepower level for about a month or two. Maybe we can track this thing, do some 0 to 60 times, really get a feel for how the stock M4 is. And once we get situated with the 425 horsepower that this car makes, I think that is a perfect time for us to buy intakes, charge pipe, downpipe, tune it. So stay tuned for that, because it is for sure gonna be coming soon, but we're gonna have a little bit of fun with how it is right now. Now, a lot of people kind of warned me of this, but I'm not exactly worried about it because I don't daily drive this car, and honestly, I don't know what they're talking about, but maybe it's because I don't do that, but I don't see it. And that is people complaining about the DCT in this car. I do have to say, it is a little bit aggressive whenever you are just daily driving. Taking off from first to second gear or stopping, you know, it can be a lot in this car. And I do have to say, it did take me a little bit to get used to whenever I first started driving this car, taking off, slowing down, just because like the way that the DCT works in this car is, it takes a little bit to get used to. But the experience that you get whenever you are at higher speeds definitely makes it worth it, but it's like that 0 to 20 mile an hour range this car really just does not like. Which makes sense, it is a track car, it is kind of built for the track. I'm sure that this car is never made for you to sit in bumper to bumper traffic for hours, even though I'm sure a lot of people do it. So I think that is why it is a little bit harsher to drive at those slower conditions, but that's not exactly a bad thing. Now, next up, which I'm sure everybody has heard about when it comes to the BMW brand, is the cost of maintenance. And it's not exactly always the cost of parts, but the labor that it is to work on this car if you did take it somewhere to get the work done. Luckily, I'm comfortable enough to do everything mostly myself. as long as it's not a major project, so I can save some money there. But even if I wanted to swap every single fluid on this car, which I am planning on doing, it's like $1,200. We're talking oil, coolant, brake lines, diff fluid, transmission fluid. Because I want this car to be at a good baseline for myself, maintenance-wise. I don't want to care if the owner missed out on some service interval. I just want everything to be set, and I know exactly where it's at. So that way, if it needs flushed, maybe something in the car is eating a little bit more of this fluid than it should be, I can actually check all those things myself and not worry about if the owner cheaped out on maintenance, which sometimes people do with these cars. But that is just kind of how these European cars roll. Everything is pretty tightly packed into there. It does take some time to actually do things like the transmission service. Maybe this car needs a wheel bearing. This car is just very highly engineered, so it is going to be more expensive. That is why people talk about the M tax. Now, I did reset the trip mileage and I drove on the highway, so this mile per gallon is a little bit inflated. I think I was getting like 15, 16 mile per gallon just driving around town. And I was kind of giving it some more gas during that time. But I have to say, the feeling that you get when driving this car and everything does make it worth it to someone like me who does use this as like a weekend car, fun car. So I'm not really caring about the mile per gallon. But it would be nice if I could get a little bit more miles per gallon out of the tank. But I do understand that this car is built for the track, and that's not exactly something to be concerned with whenever you're engineering a car like this. Now, this next and final thing can be changed in the future too. It's just a symptom of my current living situation. And that is how low this car actually sits to the ground. And to be fair, I actually would like it to go a little lower because this gap is huge. It's like 3 fingers in the front, 2 in the back. I mean, we gotta go lower. And I think I could possibly do it with where I'm living right now. But let me show you guys exactly why. It might be a little worrisome. This is the hill that I have to pull out from every day if I take this car. And as you notice on the bottom there, it gets a little steep. And it's a lot easier to back this car out because the rear diffuser sits a little higher. You know, we got a lot of room under there. And then I could turn the wheel as sharp as I can to get this front lip to not scrape at all. And honestly, I have like 2 fingers or so under. But hopefully the next year or two, I'll be in a place where we can have a flat driveway. Don't have to worry about making it up a steep driveway. But even still, I think I might try and go lower with either lowering springs or coilovers, depending on what you guys think. This car was on lowering springs and now it is on coilovers. And honestly, I love the coilover experience a little bit more. It could just be that everything was worn out with this car though. So let me know what you guys think for that too. For this car, should we go lowering springs or should we go full coilover? I think in my current situation, we could drop to a good height. I'll just have to be careful pulling out of the driveway. But like I said, give me a year or two. We won't have to worry about this issue anymore. But for right now, it is very low. For the average person, especially, there are some speed bumps around here that I know can't go down that road or through that part of the parking lot because that's gonna be pretty close. But that is everything that I hate so far about this car. Like I said, a lot of it we're gonna change, can be changed, which is fantastic to be able to buy a car, and your only gripes are things that you can change about it, and honestly, for fairly cheap. But seriously, I cannot even imagine the fact that I have this car in the position that I am right now, and I am so fortunate and lucky to have it, and thankful that you guys check out the videos, which help me be able to afford this car. And I hope you guys are excited to see more and more content with this car. Like I said, spoiler and front lip, they're on the way. Video's gonna be coming out soon of putting those on the car and making this exterior look perfect. And then it comes time for big power. But like I said, these are all very livable things. I still love this car to death and wouldn't trade it really for anything. Well, maybe that GT3 I've been dreaming about, but we're gonna add that. We're not gonna replace this, we're gonna add that. And every time I come out here and sit in this car and just look at it, I'm so happy that everything worked out the way it did. This white interior is honestly so beautiful, and I'm so happy I didn't get red or black. White was definitely the way to go. I shot for one that did have a sunroof on it, but this carbon roof is just so sick. And I'm still happy that I waited to find one in this color because Austin Yellow Metallic really is beautiful. And I don't think any of the other colors I really would have wanted. This is definitely the best one. So thank you guys for checking out today's video. Hope you're excited for all these plans that we have in the future. But stick around and I hope you're excited for the big plans we have for this car in the future. Like, comment, dislike, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for the next video where some more spicy stuff is gonna happen, including this car. Peace!